something I can see turning out of that black hole, two luminous discs. The eyes, it might be a face, might be almost but heavens, something wriggling out of the shadow like a gray snake. Now it's another one, and another one, and another one. They look like tentacles to me. Oh, yeah, I can see the thing's body now. It's large as a bear. It glistens like wet leather, but that face, ladies and gentlemen, it's indescribable. I can hardly force myself to keep looking at it. It's so awful. The eyes are black, and they gleam like a serpent. The mouth is a kind of V-shape with saliva dripping from its rimless lips and seem to quiver and pulsate.
Last time on ParaScience, the two of you took a moment to explore the lakeside itself, not the Lakeside Dive bar, obviously, but the actual side of the lake, and kind of gave it a once-over while talking about Alister and Saint's feelings regarding working with each other and the potential supernatural oddity that is on display here. I believe we ended that episode with the sound of a car pulling in to the driveway on the other side of the Lakeside Dive, a car that you were not able to see, but you could hear because it was crunching down on the gravel of that driveway. Much like last time, I release you to do whatever the fuck you want.
Now I listened back to the second episode of this, and I realized there were two things that we forgot about in the third episode. That we should return to investigation-wise this time. One of them is checking the jukebox and the jukebox wiring. And the second one is I did text my cousin to see if he was coming around tonight. That may be, I don't know if we're still waiting to hear back from him or not, but I wanted to keep posted on that. But for now, what we could do is we could check the jukebox. And also, I'm assuming the person pulling up is probably the manager, so I guess we'll deal with that. Considering that we had just decided as a pair to not lie. We'll see how that goes.
I promise not to lie about my identity.
You can lie about other stuff, that's fine.
That I won't lie about having a hobby fixing old electronics, which is not necessarily a lie.
That's not even necessarily a lie. And then you could be like, Lefty mentioned that the jukebox was being weird. Do you mind if I take a look? That might be a way to get what we want.
I was gonna say, I mean, that was absolutely gonna be my angle, and I will simply do because Alister is incapable of not sort of lying to people, do something along the lines of like, oh yeah, like my uncle collects jukeboxes.
You round the two corners of the bar and get back to the front side of the building. You can see that the car has already parked and that its occupant has already stepped out of the vehicle. This car is by no means new. It appears to be a very 90s vehicle. I am not a driver myself, and therefore the make and model of certain vehicles is lost on me. But you can, if your mom drove it, then that's the car it is.
Cool, let's go inside.
Sure, yeah, you step inside the bar. I will note that there have been several changes already in the very brief time that you were out there. Most notably, all the internal lighting is on in the building. You were kind of in there initially during its sort of warm-up period, but now all those sort of neon beer signs and cowboy boot signs and all the other sort of accoutrement that you would expect of any sort of late-night establishment have flickered on. The bar surface is, cleaner. It's been given a wipe down. There's a couple of grocery bags on that bar table. I think you can assume where those just came from. And indeed, Lefty is back in the kitchen, and the only person that is in the kind of front of house unpacking those various grocery bags is a relatively tall but definitely older looking woman who, for aesthetic reasons, is bathing under the midnight glow of the neon.
Did Lefty mention the name of the proprietor?
Yes. I don't remember her name, but the name was mentioned.
It was Macy. This is a relatively small building, as discussed, so it is impossible for you not to be seen walking in the front door of the establishment. Macy kind of shouts out to you, "Hi, we're just getting set up. Give me just a moment. We're not technically open yet."
No, that's fine. Actually, fuck. Okay, I walk up. I sound so sad about this. Let me let you know. It's because I am. Because I'm gonna have to do something I don't want to do. It's like I'm fighting with myself. There's Saint, who in my heart is like, no, just tell her exactly who you are. And there's the me who's like, I want to lie. I can't.
I mean, you can tell her that you're Lefty's cousin.
No, I'm gonna tell her I'm Deacon's cousin. Because that's who my actual cousin is.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I got those two mixed up.
Yeah.
Every chapter, I introduce Ezra and Matty to a new scourge of characters with completely normal names. No one here is named like Finwheel Half-Elven or whatever.
Yeah, no, it's all just a bunch of fucking
everyone
randos.
I just didn't write down these
Bill.
people's names and forgot.
Yeah.
Every chapter I invent 10 guys named Chuck Smith. And I make Z and Matty memorize the difference between all of them.
This is what you get for setting a story in a modern world.
Does Deacon work here?
No. He's a regular.
He's a regular.
Which is, I think, what I'm gonna have to go for here. Cool. I'm gonna walk up and say, hi, actually, we're not, I'm Saint, I'm Deacon's cousin. I just have to be passing through town. I'm actually gonna try and meet up with him later. And when I was talking to Deacon, he had mentioned that the jukebox here was being weird. My buddy's interested in, like, tech stuff. We thought maybe we'd take a look. If that's okay. We're not gonna, like, charge you or anything. He's just more, he likes finagling with this kind of thing. It's a hobby.
And Alister
Please save me!
Alister will put out a hand and just says, Alister McAndrews, call me Al. I have to confess, I mean, all vintage electronics, but, I have not seen and I don't know anything about jukeboxes.
Yeah, there's just
I'm like, I need to pull like a model out of.
Yeah,
on 1 second. I'm looking this up.
I haven't seen a jukebox type at model here, in a while. I don't think we need to pull up an actual fucking title or anything. I don't want someone who knows anything about jukeboxes to be like, actually.
Anyway, sorry. So Alister very smoothly kind of reaches past Saint and offers a hand. And she says, Alister McAndrews, call me Al. Before anybody has a chance to start. I have an interest in vintage electronics generally, but I'll admit jukeboxes are kind of a particular hobby. And if I'm not mistaken, and I might have to go get my glasses, but I think that's Aristocrat 1957, and I would love to get my hands on that thing, especially if it's giving you trouble.
I'm gonna say that Macy, while still maintaining eye contact with you, and while her hands are still unpacking those kind of various groceries, does a sort of a lean back and almost like talking out of the side of her mouth toward the kitchen. Lefty, is there trouble with the jukebox? There is a moment of silence, and then you hear a kind of a utensil being set down as Lefty pops his head through that kind of fry cook window. These gentlemen stopped in earlier, and I told them it was acting up a little bit. She says something to the effect of, well, that's the first I've heard of it, but I guess you're welcome to take a look if that's something that interests you.
Ma'am, you have genuinely made my day.
Question. Didn't he mention that he had talked to her about, like, the weird stuff going on, and she had just been like, yeah, whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Did he say specifically, like, I told her about the jukebox, and she had just been like, yeah, whatever? Or did he just say, like, I told her about, like, the various stuff?
He mentioned mentioning some phenomenon. I don't know if he mentioned that specifically.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out if she's being weird and or lying and or possibly has forgotten, or if maybe not everything came up and it seems like right now I need to stop being paranoid. Cool, let's go check out the Jukebox box.
I'm gonna say I did say that I might need to go get my glasses out of the I think I said I might need to go get my glasses. So I'm gonna use that as an excuse to head back out to the van and grab some stuff. My little toolkit. If Saint wants to come with me so we can chat, you can.
Yeah, sure. I was gonna say I could either do that or I can start looking myself, and I could do a craft maybe. But that craft is basically for vehicles, so I don't think I could actually do a lot on my own here. So I'll come with you, and also it will be better if we do it together. So one of us could potentially give the other a boost. But once again, I don't think I have anything that could give you a boost here. So womp womp.
I mean, you can always sort of be checking it for vibes as I'm.
That's
checking
true.
It
I can check it for vibes while you
failures.
check it for failures. So yeah, I'll come with you into the abyss.
Down once more
Yeah.
to the dungeon of black despair.
Yeah.
Down we plunge through the shadows of my mind.
God, I love Phantom of the Opera.
So Phantom of the Opera AU. No, we'll discuss. But not right now. Right now we have a jukebox to take apart.
So, I will just, kind of go grab my little, I have kind of a little traveling toolkit thing, flashlight,
A variety of little Allen wrenches,
some stuff, out of the van. And I feel like I was gonna ask something about your impression of the proprietor, and I don't know what it was.
It was not just a general "what do you think about her" question, or
no? I mean, I guess that was probably what it was. So I guess as we're headed out there, no, sorry.
I mean, I could ask you. We could flip it around.
You can if you want.
Reverse it. Yeah.
Sure.
As you're pulling out your tool case, I'll just lean against the door and be like, "What did you think about her? Any impression? I know we didn't talk to her for very long."
She doesn't strike me as the kind of woman who's going to be particularly credulous when it comes to matters outside of her, scope of understanding.
Mm-hmm.
That's, yes, strikes me as much more likely to double down on whatever explanation she finds least disruptive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Agreed. Suddenly, a light bulb just went on over my head of oh, maybe she has noticed these things and has been denying it because, what's bad for business? Ghosts!
Unless you own my business.
Unless you own that specific haunted McMinimans, yeah.
Yeah.
But, that just oh, maybe she has noticed these things and is either in denial because ghosts aren't real, or I don't want ghosts to be I don't want to think about the idea of ghosts in my establishment because that's bad for business. I don't want to think about that specific ghost in my establishment because that's the ghost of a dead friend and that's freaky. There's a couple things here of couple potentials that I'm adding to the list of it may be that it's less that she hasn't noticed anything and maybe more that she has and is in denial or specifically turning down the idea for a couple of reasons, which is interesting. Adds some potential issues to the situation here.
Do you want to talk about that in character, or talk through those options in character, or just leave it?
Yeah,
okay.
we could do that.
I am struggling to remember what Lefty told us about. No, I think that he said that he mentioned it.
I just don't remember. I think he said that he had told her about the stuff, but I don't remember if he said he had mentioned specific things to her or not. I do think potentially she maybe has recognized these issues and is avoiding them or pretending they aren't real for maybe it's bad for business. Maybe she doesn't want to think about the ghost of a dear friend, hanging around. I mean, if this was a true crime show because she killed him and didn't want to think about the ghost being around, but I very much do not think that that's what's going on here. But I wonder if maybe this is not just a situation of only, one man seeing anything. I'm wondering if maybe she's also noticing things and is in denial or pretending that she's not for some reason.
Especially if place like this, business could already be bad. Not looking for any more excuses for people to stay away or... be an interesting thing. It's just... That jukebox is clearly well used. Any issues that were obvious to Lefty would have been obvious to anyone spending any amount of time in the bar.
Unless they tuned it out, Sometimes with background music, you're not actually listening, But for somebody who's there almost every day...
And someone who is... I would imagine that Macy has an encyclopedic knowledge of everything that goes on.
Yeah, as a manager, I would be shocked if she had not noticed that something in her bar was broken.
Well, like you said, it's entirely possible that it's simply a mechanism for dealing with grief.
Yeah. Well, let's just start there and see where it goes.
Shut the van door and
in we go.
In we go. Immediately, puts on my Alister does that thing where once he's back into where he's gonna have to interact with strangers, his body language gets more looser and more friendly.
It's probably
and stuff, and he
watch.
Smiles more.
Yeah, Saint, who's now spent enough time with him to notice this, is God, this is so weird.
Yeah, he has his on thing.
Yeah, what kind of freak ass? I mean, I think what he probably kind of feels bad. He's because he's a freak, right? That he's
yeah.
I feel empathy for the guy. It used to be something that made him mad. And I'm wondering if maybe there's a shift from this makes him mad that you act this way to God, I feel bad that you feel like you have to be a different person. Maybe right now we're at a mix. Who knows?
Yeah.
There is an emotion about this.
That's starting to creep in about man, that's kind of sad actually.
Yeah.
Whereas Alister doesn't even notice he's doing it anymore.
Which is, I think Saint is that's part of the reason he's this is sad, is he doesn't even know he's doing it. And it's oh god. So alright.
Yeah. So I will just make wander over to the jukebox. Just on the way, I would like to... Actually, on the way over to the jukebox, if I can, I would like to look for other electrical outlets in the place and just check them real quick to see if there's any indication that there might be a problem with the wiring. Sometimes you see little... if you go real old houses, you get little scorch marks and shit when the wiring's going fucky. I just want to do a quick check to see if it looks like there's anything obviously wrong with the wiring and or is this place an electrical fire waiting to happen.
You are so lucky that I have 3 maps of this place drawn out.
I mean, you don't have to tell me the specifics of them. You could just be yes, you see something, or no, you don't. I'm not asking you to tell me where the outlets are.
Yeah, brother, this place fucking sucks. Not to be teacher, did we have homework? This seems like a good place to roll, maybe. I noticed we never do rolls, and I'm we should roll dice.
No, I you know what I just realized? I accidentally closed my character sheet earlier.
And this is your punishment, and I'm making you roll dice.
I mean, there was the moment I literally said during the last one, I was not to interrupt the flow of this narrative podcast, but would you like to roll some dice?
Yeah, let's roll some dice. Let's have Ezra roll some dice. I could also probably help, because I have both notice and investigate, 2 things that would probably be relevant here.
Sick.
I have a +2 in investigate and a +1 in notice, so depending on...
Okay. I have a +2 in investigate and a +3 in notice. I would say since I'm not going and, like,
this
sticking
is
my
probably
face...
a notice.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I'm sort of just surveying at this point.
Well, I'll give you an additional +1 to help you out, so you're rolling
Fuck
at a
yeah.
4.
Okay.
Roll them dice, motherfucker. Let's go.
Okay, let's see. That's... Oh, wow, shit. That's 3 positives and a neutral.
Fuck yeah.
For, like...
That's a 7, brother.
That's a 7!
That's almost as good as you could get.
Should have fucking saved that for the actual jukebox.
We see the
wow.
ghost. You turn around and you notice there's a fucking ghost.
It's like, there's like a ghost like
jukebox,
oozing
it's
itself
like
out of
Christine.
one of the...
The jukebox is alive with the spirit of a ghost.
After inhaling some spice melange, you start to see through time. You notice the end of all things. You've rolled notice on, I guess, what specifically? That entire corner of the restaurant? I mean, with your now enhanced perception powers, I'll give you the entire corner of the restaurant.
Yeah, I think what I was trying to do is like whatever kind of just from the door to the jukebox. I'm looking for any indications that there's anything wrong with the wiring. I guess since I'm taking a really close look, can I extend that to like things? I'm looking for environmental explanations for this. Is there any indication of water damage that says there might be mold in the walls? Is there any kind of scorching in the outlets that says there might be a problem with the wiring? Trying to do, like, Saint has made it clear that he's like, you have to rule out a, like, physical issue with the building explanation for this before you jump to ghosts. And so I'm kind of taking, because that's what I'm good at, I'm going to say that this is me kind of trying to do the, like, as much as I can do the, is there something wrong with the building that could be causing this?
Sure. As I described earlier, this place is not run down, not falling apart, but is distinctly old. It's a specific type of old where every obviously this was built a number of decades ago, and the signs of wear and tear are certainly there, but this place overall seems to be pretty well maintained. It is not like the kind of dusty catacomb ass mansion that you were in.
It's not dilapidated.
Not a chapter ago. Yes, of course, not dilapidated. But yeah, you're kind of looking around. You mentioned scorch marks around any sort of the outlets. They all seem to be working fine. There's this kind of, I haven't really described the corner of this area very specifically, but there are 4 circular tables, each of which only have maybe 1 or 2 chairs attached to them in this kind of corner of the restaurant. There's almost a sort of raised up stage that's kind of like a fourth of a circle. It's a quarter of a circle that the jukebox is on, and indeed there is a singular microphone plugged into a singular amplifier right next to it. It is a very kind of duct taped together karaoke system. You would be surprised if there was even a monitor. There is not.
Fucking guess. Pull up your phone.
Fucking make it up as you go along.
You better already know the lyrics to Nowhere Man. Yes, you are indeed looking at the jukebox that you mentioned earlier, Ezra, which is now canon to the scene in exchange for 1 fate point.
I think Ezra should get a fate point for being able to pull up an exact model number.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, you do. You do get I will give you a fate point for giving me such a specific jukebox to work with.
Cool.
The jukebox itself, I can only describe as both fridge-sized and fridge-shaped, but specifically those round fridges from the fucking 50s that Indiana Jones shoves himself in and crystal skulls or whatever.
It's very refrigerator-esque, isn't it?
It is very refrigerator-esque, but instead of containing eggs and milk, it contains vinyls and music to which to tap your foot.
It contains tunes.
Tunes. Oh, we're all out of tunes. We gotta go to the store and get more tunes. Anyway, there, it's got various panels of kind of teal and burnt orange and a very discolored cream that you can only imagine used to be white but is aged over time as the plastic fades due to sun and other environmental conditions. There are 1 or 2 holes in that kind of mesh screening at the front that's protecting the speaker. It is simply plugged in to the very same outlet that the amplifier and microphone is plugged into. You maybe know enough about electricity to know that isn't the best idea, but I suppose you have to make do with a place as old as the Lakeside Bar and Grill.
Oh, these outlets are not grounded, are they?
Oh, I couldn't tell you because I don't know that much about electricity.
I'm sure they're not.
As aforementioned, there is indeed the easel that has the kind of funerary bouquet on it. The funerary wreath, I should say. Excuse me. It's rarely a bouquet. It's exactly what you expect, a circle of kind of maybe a mix of like white and red flowers, with a framed picture of the recently departed in there.
Cool. So the answer is nothing weird on our way over.
Nothing weird, and hopefully maybe a better sense of what this corner of the restaurant looks like.
Cool. Okay.
As I said, the neon signs are on as well, so in the window you can see, I'm not going to mention specific brands, but you can see multiple signs for multiple, say, regional or national kind of beer distributor brands that you would recognize.
Great.
Okay.
Let's investigate, hey?
Yeah.
Do you want to roll your electronic investigate, or do you want me to roll my empathy investigate first?
So I wasn't lying when I said that I have an interest in vintage electronics. I absolutely was lying when I said that I have a specific interest in jukeboxes. So can I use my rolling rapport instead of craft for, dealing with unfamiliar technology in this case, since I've used it for old machines before?
Let's hold on. Pause.
Absolutely.
Let's confirm if this is craft, because it is if it is craft, I can help you. I just don't know if it is, because I think craft once again is specifically for vehicular.
Oh, as
crafts.
in an aircraft or a watercraft,
which is why I have craft as a mechanic. So let me double check in the rulebook really quick.
Thank you.
Once again,
I need to
if
adjust
need be,
if that's.
I can help you, but I don't think I can.
I need to if it's not, I need to adjust that stunt then.
I'm scrolling. I think it is craft, because craft is all machinery.
Oh shit! All right,
is what it says. This is I'm zooming, just to check everything. I zoomed too far.
Zoom.
I goofed. Craft is the skill of working with machinery for good or ill. Hilarious.
Robots for evil.
Crafts allows you to build, break, or fix machinery, presuming you have the time and tools you need. So, yes, crafts is the correct one. Separately, I was gonna ask, what's Alister's resources? Because resources is about how much money you got.
It's a +1.
Cool. I don't have it. This all tracks for me. But the important part is I can give you a +1 on this craft
Oh,
roll.
sick. Okay. Cool.
And I have rapport also, so even if it's a rapport, because that's what you're technically rolling. Either way, I can give you a +1.
Sounds good. I was gonna say, I think it's, I don't know if this is how it works, but it's a craft roll, but I'm using a stunt to use a different skill.
You're using an additional bonus instead. A different bonus instead. Either way, I'm giving you a +1 because I'm helping.
Okay, cool. Which point takes me up to a +4 on this roll. Let's see.
Local duo continues to break all rolls. Now that we've learned how to be friends, sort of. now that we've relearned how to be frenemies, suddenly things are getting better. Depending, if you roll really bad on this, that's going to be very funny.
It's a total of, okay, so that's 1 negative, 1 neutral, and 2 positives, which totals out to a +1.
Plus your 4, so that's a 5.
So it's a 5.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay, and you're checking out its electronic component specifically.
Yeah, that's what I mean, if Saint's getting in there too, I'm wondering maybe if Saint is I am also in tune with this jukebox, no pun intended.
I think I'm gonna roll an empathy to check out, like, the vibes. I think my bonus here is, like, you're the doctor and you're telling me scalpel.
Okay,
you
sure.
know? But instead you're like, can you pass
how...
me this Allen wrench? I know exactly what tool you're talking about. So I can pass you stuff while you're, like, in the guts of this jukebox or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
So I guess, Z, then what is Alister's, like, action specifically? Because Saint did just say in the guts of the jukebox. Are you going to try to open it up?
Yeah, I think I'm going to, like, take the, like pop the front panel off and kind of make sure that... Or possibly, like, drag... I would imagine maybe I have to drag it away from the wall a little bit and get at the back. That seems more likely in terms of how these things are constructed.
Yeah.
But, they're meant to be able to be fixed.
Yeah.
And so I'm just popping it off and making sure that, like, all of the connections are tight. I mean, Ben, I don't know dick squat about how actual audio equipment works. I know how to, sort of vaguely know how to run the world's simplest soundboard, and that's it. I couldn't take an amp apart if you wanted it to still work.
No, sorry. That was less of a technical question and more literally, what are you doing?
I'm literally, like, I'm kind of nudging it away from the wall so I can get to it, with, like, doing the, like, little flashlight stuck by my ear so I can see what I'm doing, and, like, just making sure that there's not anything obviously, like, that would be causing it to skip or behave strangely, maybe clean it up with some canned air or whatever.
Sure, yeah. The second you start scooting it away from the wall, in a real please don't tip the vending machines way, I'm going to say that kind of Macy shouts from across the bar, not angrily, but with a certain kind of urgency to her voice. Just please be careful with that. It's an antique.
Yeah, I'll be, like, holding the front so it doesn't tip over while we're scooting it, and I'll give her a thumbs up.
Alister, without missing a beat, just shouts back, "Ma'am, if I damaged a beauty like this, I'd never forgive myself."
I wouldn't forgive you either. It's older than the bar.
Oh, good to know. That's exciting.
She goes back to her business, unpacking those groceries, which I didn't specify earlier, but it's like lemons and limes for the bar and all that kind of stuff. You got to go into town for that stuff. I am going to say that as you kind of peel it back from the wall, you don't immediately notice anything about its electronics, but as you maybe are kind of using your screwdriver to, I guess, let's presume, once again, a limited knowledge of how these electronics work, but I presume you can unscrew the front piece off of the jukebox so you can access the inside of the machine itself. I'm going to say maybe that front piece is kind of held together with a handful of connecting wires so it doesn't, like, fully separate unless you were to disconnect those wires. But as you're handling it, I bet you can notice that there is a bit of a dent in the casing down toward the bottom. Other than that, the rest of the machine seems fine. You kind of give it a once-over. Nothing seems very noticeably unplugged or bent out of shape inside. As, if either of you own a record player, you know that arm, you got to be real delicate with that arm and really delicate with all the... that's the same for jukeboxes. There's the very kind of delicate armatures inside to make sure all the CDs are robotically slotted into the right places. Those machines, should they get an ounce of dust in them, can obviously start to backfire and behave badly. And obviously that it would appear that's not the case. It appears to be in functioning order based on what you can see inside.
Can I either lay on my back and, like, try and look under the machine to see what is going on with that dent, or stick my phone under on, like, selfie mode to try and get photos?
Oh, sorry. When I said toward the bottom, I don't mean underneath the machine. I mean like at the base toward the foot, but noticeably on the side of the machine. There's a dent.
Going in or coming out?
Going in.
Is it like the height of, like, somebody would, like, kick it?
Yeah. It's probably about shin height. Below knee, but chin height.
Does that dent look like it's near anything, or, like, perhaps if something got moved towards it, that could cause a, like, skip or something? Like there's a piece of machinery near it that could be the cause of what's wrong with it?
No, not necessarily. All that's down there would be the speaker material itself. The speakers of the jukebox.
Okay.
If anything, that would distort its audio quality, not the mechanics of it.
The description of the issue with the jukebox, as a reminder, was that it was stopping or it was skipping?
That it would start auto-playing.
Oh,
it
that
would
it would
start
start
playing
on its own.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I realized autoplay is how we describe YouTube. Yes, what this is it starts up without a cord.
That
Okay.
works for what we're trying to understand. That's an accurate description. Okay.
Yeah. The problem is that no one's putting money in it, no one's selecting a song, but it's kicking into gear anyway.
This doesn't seem like a wiring issue.
No.
By the way, speaking of the songs, as you are flipping through, you can see it's a pretty solid collection of music from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Nothing after 1980.
Yeah. Cool.
Tracks. Okay, while we're investigating, and presumably my body is hidden by mostly the machine, can I do a vibe check with empathy to see if I'm getting any readings around here? Actually,
is this
can I
fish
pull
haunted?
Can I pull out the reader to see if we're getting anything while you're kind of like pull that out to see if we're also getting, because it's pretty quiet. She's not gonna be able to hear it, and I'm not gonna start singing inside the fucking bullshit whatever.
Yes, you may.
What have we been rolling for that again? Is that also crafts? Or have we been actually, can it be investigate? Because I'm investigating just with a piece of machinery.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I know it's like a supernatural implement, but at the end of the day, it's a
I am
tool.
investigating with a tool, so yeah.
Yeah, I see no reason to, just because it happens to measure ghosts, treat it any differently than like.
Ezra, can I request assistance?
You absolutely can.
Okay, that is going to give me a +3 here, which that's a negative, a neutral, and 2 positives. So that's a 4 in total.
Nice.
Yeah. Saint, using your kind of sense, your ghost sense.
Oh, I'm using the...
Let's...
Can I use both at the same time?
The
but I'm using the reader specifically right now. If you're willing to give me free info about using my ghost sense, I'll take it.
No, sorry, you said empathy earlier. I got my wires crossed. Much like the wires in this machine.
Yeah, no, I started doing that, and then I was like, no, I think I'd rather use the tool first. Because we've not yet really established how my ghost sense works, and I would rather start with, while I'm hidden back here, I can always ghost sense later from just hanging out around a jukebox, but it's easier to actually use my little machine while I'm hidden.
You take out the EMF device, maybe kind of careful to place your own body between it and Macy's line of sight, to kind of hunker your shoulders around it in a way where, like as if you were cheating on a test, you would not necessarily want the teacher to be able to see that you were slipping a note card out of your sleeve. But you hold it up directly next to the jukebox in an attempt to see if you can get a reaction out of the EMF meter. And I'm going to say that you receive a stronger signal from this jukebox than you ever did anywhere near the lake.
Okay.
That it's kind of kicking up to, say, 20, 25, 30 on that little meter, as opposed to at the beginning you were only getting like a little 10% wiggle of that needle.
Okay. Oh.
It seems to be much more potent around this machine.
So it's still not massive, but it's something.
It's something. And I'm going to say that as you are investigating it with the EMF meter, and while the machine itself kind of lays half open, spontaneously, the little armature reaches up, grabs a vinyl, and places it onto the vinyl player itself. While you are handling the investigations, you kind of stare, maybe transfixed at that little arm that grabs the various vinyls. And the second the needle drops, the beautiful sounds of old-time rock and roll, by which I mean literally the song Bob Seger's Old-Time Rock and Roll, starts playing.
I would now like to use empathy to try to just say, like, Phil, Are you here? A little bit of a like, am I in the room with you? Phil, are you with us? But genuine like, oh fuck, are you here? To show empathy to try and talk to him if he's, kicking on tunes or whatever. Because presumably my the sound of me talking will be blocked by the sound of the fucking music. Okay, that is a negative, 2 neutrals, and a positive, so that's a 4 in total.
You cannot hear any sort of spiritual anything, but you can hear, just take those old records off the shelf. I sit and listen to them by myself. Today's music ain't got the same soul. I like that old time rock and roll.
Okay, so the answer is I didn't get anything.
No, you didn't. Sorry.
Watching this happen, Alister is looking at Saint like, what?
Okay, I'll show him the meter and then like shrug. Like, I mean, I didn't get a feeling. He didn't like grab me or say anything. But there's something, or the beginnings of something. Anyway, click the meter off and put that back in my like pocket or whatever. Any reaction from Macy, or does she just assume that we bumped something in the process?
No, I'm gonna say she doesn't react. I think she's a bit busy.
Okay. I'd like to just, as we close the thing up, I'd just like to real quick make a note of like what number selection that record is.
Sure, let's,
I love when I ask for a detail like this and you make a face and it immediately tells me that it's not important.
Yeah. Let's use vending machine logic. So let's say that's like B5. Because 5 is boring, but saying B5?
Yeah. I'll just make a mental note that that's B5 and then like...
And we should also make a note of the song because Lefty previously had been like, I don't know, I didn't keep track if it was the same song every time, but we can remember that this time it was this. So if this happens again, we can keep track of what songs are being played. And maybe I can ask Lefty later if he liked this song in particular or not. Phil, not Lefty, just to be clear, obviously. Cool. Well, let's move that bitch back in place.
Yeah, we very carefully restore her to her place of glory.
I'm gonna say as you click that kind of front piece back in, everything is kind of connected properly again, and the kind of full bass booming of that jukebox, it's back to its full sound quality now that's like fully assembled. And the wonderful piano motifs of Bob Seger's Old Time Rock and Roll fill the bar.
It's a good song.
It is a very good song. That opening piano?
Yeah.
Sorry, rules. Ba 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 na 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 na. I should have done as the haunting quote at the beginning of the chapter. I should have done the lyrics to that instead of the fucking Hill House quote I did.
We'll get him next time.
Call me a relic. Call me what you will.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Okay. So it was seeing stuff in the mirror, and it was like glasses being moved around.
Yeah.
Being like dropped off the bar. Specifically not flung, like pushed.
Like an invisible cat.
Yeah.
Saint, I'm going to say you feel a buzz in your pocket, by the way.
Cool. Hopefully my cousin. I will check my phone. And it's my mom! Saint, please call.
It is 5:05 p.m. sharp local time. So presumably right after a shift has just ended. And it is indeed a text from your cousin, Deacon. I don't remember the exact language of your initial text message, but...
It's pretty dumb. I basically asked if he was coming into the bar tonight. It's like, I'm in town, are you coming? Smiley face emoji,
sure.
Something like that.
Yeah, you get a simple text message back that just says, exclamation mark, I'll be there tonight.
Cool.
And actually, as you read that phone, you can hear, great. As you are reading that text message, you can hear 1 or 2 cars pulling into the front driveway of the Lakeside Bar and Grill. Neither of them appear to be your cousin's car, who presumably is maybe still on his way. But more patrons of this restaurant have just shown up. All right,
yeah.
And I believe it's here that we will have to end this episode. What you've been listening to was ParaScience, a glimpse into a world unknown. It is an actual play horror adventure told to you through the Fate system. Our players are Ezra Kaye as Man in Black Alister McAndrews, and Matty Trumbo-Gomes as capable young man Saint Garcia Flores. As for myself, I was your game master and disembodied voice, Ben Hamlin. I also produced this show, with editing assistance by Matty Trumbo-Gomes. Our theme song was by the incorporeal Johnny Rinaldo, and our logo was created by the haunted visage of Terra Bosart. This show is brought to you by Infinity Break, where we're telling stories our own way. You can check out our website and all of our other shows at infinitybreak.net, and I would encourage you to join the haunted chorus of voices at the Infinity Break fan Discord, bit.ly/Infinity Talk. That's capital I Infinity, capital T Talk. We have a Patreon at patreon.com/Infinity Break, where you can start donating to Infinity Break for as little as $1 a month. Finally, if you listen through Apple Podcasts, don't forget to leave a review. Reviews help us rise in the podcasting charts and help more people stumble across our show like a body in the woods. That's all for now. Let ParaScience gaze back at you like a face in the mirror that isn't yours.